This is not coming out nearly so well. This is where the gouges were on the side, kind of down by the strake of the hull. It's very hard for you to see. Let me move the light around a little bit and let's see if we can get it in here a little bit better. It looks pretty good for most all of the spots that I did, except that one, remember, where it was difficult to cure, and I have been working on sanding this thing like it's going out of style. And you can see how rough it looks. For whatever reason, I didn't do a good job on that one. And I don't know that I'll do anything about it right now. I might, next time I have to do this process, I'll just maybe even grind it all back out and start all over again. So that's what that looks like. That looks white in the picture. It's not white. It's obviously, you're seeing mostly reflections. But it's not smooth. It's nowhere close to smooth, and that's with a considerable amount of sanding. If you look everywhere else, up and down, where I fix those gouges, they're perfectly smooth. As a matter of fact, they've disappeared. Okay, well, here we are back in the garage, seeing how the work from yesterday turned out. I'm semi-displeased, but not totally displeased, and mainly the only reason why was because I did this as one long strip. It's about 30 inches long, and in the process of doing that, I think, I frayed the edges of the fiberglass cloth a little bit, but that will all sand out and it'll be nice and smooth, and then when I paint over it, then it'll be pretty much invisible. But as you can see, I've already attacked it a little bit with some sandpaper. I used just to start getting the edges down of the fibers. I went after it with a 100 grit sandpaper, and once I have the fibers kind of smoothed out, then I'll go ahead and I'll go after it with a higher grit and get it all polished up nice and smooth. Of course, I got to do that all the way down the length. So that's where it's at right now. It seems to be progressing pretty well, and we'll see what Riza says about it over online. But net of it is, it is what it is, and it will be just fine. Down here, as you can see, I missed a spot with the fiberglass mat between the two pieces. So I don't know if that's going to show up very well, but the net of it is that I'm going to get all the rest of this sanded down and somewhat prepped, and then I'm going to fill in that gap that I created between the two fiberglass mats, which will be very, very easy. So that's the deal. Now it's just a matter of most of the fiberglassing is done, or the epoxying I should say is done, and now it's a matter of sanding and smoothing, and then putting some paint over the top of it. Okay, well, here we are in the garage again, and continued sanding and sanding and sanding and sanding. I've gotten it about to as far as I dare go. There are still some little spots where you can see that some strands got loose on me. They're pretty flat, but I know that'll show up in the paint, but I don't care that much about that. I don't know how to get them down any further without really getting into the material, and that would be kind of counterproductive to what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get my repairs done. So that said, everything is very smooth. It's been sanded and sanded. It hasn't been wet sanded at this point. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think it's super smooth. I've cleaned it with acetone, and now I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit of test spraying back at the very end towards the pump tunnel.